Good evening, Western Mass GOP and where GOP. My name is Jesse. A lot of people y'all already know me. I also go by AKA Brother Jethro, Mass Metalheads for Trump. So I'm here today for a couple reasons. I have an announcement. Well, it's more of a question and an announcement kind of wrapped into one. And, I sat here for 2 days trying to figure out how to script myself at first. And then I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm scripted. I'm not a scripted person. And I like to talk from the heart, but it's like, I'm not going to remember everything and yada, yada, yada. Well, I decided, all right, I'll just take some cheat sheet notes, That don't work either, man, because I end up getting too involved and, writing everything out. And I know what I want to say. And first I want to start with something I think is extremely important because it's coming up in just a few days. The 2nd of December, where GOP Town Committee, they have a speaker event, and check it out. I got the flyer up behind me here on my Mass Metalheads for Trump board. But what's wrong with this picture? Honestly, I mean, I'm being a jerk. I'm had a conversation with a couple of the upper-ups in the committee, and they know what I'm talking about. And I'm being honest. Problem number one is you don't have any entertainment. Actually, that is your main problem. 18 months have just gone by where people have been locked down, can't do a thing they want to do. And you know what? People want their bread and circus. You don't really hear a lot of, I want my speaker in circus. Speaker and bread. Sorry, I said speaker circus. But you do hear, I want my bread and circus. That's, hundreds and hundreds of years. And not that, Biden let them eat cake thing. But, so, for 18 months, yeah, I should have threw something in with the equation. Anything, I would have loved to have performed. I would have been more than happy to do it, It's my committee, so I don't need to get paid for it. And, I know a few years think, oh, that's too, you laugh, they think it's too heavy or whatever, but I have an 80-year-old fan that sees how important and, what that could do for the movement, the culture, which this is what it's all about, it's the culture. I got 12-year-old, 11 or 12 years old. My friend's kid loves it. I mean, he does. He literally loves it. He's like, when can I come in? When can I play drums? When can I play drums? But he's got a few years to go, I started this project back in 2014. Yeah, I want to say 2014. And I started it not as a political project, not the Mass Metalheads thing, but the music end of it. I was doing I have a song called "Push That Pen." It's the bottom feeder instrumental for Corrosion of Conformity. It's the music for that. There's no lyrics. It's just an instrumental. Never had lyrics. So that song originally was dedicated to Seymour Hoffman's passing. It's not like dedicated to him because he did something great. It's dedicated so his memory wouldn't go away because he died of relapsing on opiates after 25 years clean. That's mind-blowing, man. That's got to be gut-wrenching, devastating to his family. I believe he had 2 kids and a beautiful wife, beautiful 2 kids. I don't quote me on that. Regardless, the guy died in a bathroom stall. Actually, it's in the lyrics too, dying in a bathroom stall. Too many people gone, way too many people. And I've tweaked the song since then. And, in the instrumental, before I used to speak of some guy just hanging out at a convenience store or a movie theater or something, and the needle's still stuck in his arm, passing out and dying. That was kind of it was a commentary around that, Now, the commentary is the unsecured Biden border. and how much fentanyl is coming over and how much war has come over. I'm actually changing it again from the actual recording because now that's what's in the recording, and I'm changing it to how many people have passed away in 1 year under Biden. Over 100,000 people have died from drug overdoses, and I think it's 80 to 86% somewhere in that area, fentanyl or synthetic. It might not be fentanyl. It could have been, I don't know, Percocets or who knows. Regardless, this is just mind blowing. It's wiping out generations. It's wiping out old generations of people. It's wiping out new generations before they can become the people they want to be. I lost my best friend a year and a half ago. And to this day, I think of him all the time. He was fortunate to hear that one song because that was all I had done. And then here we go to 2020, and I'm writing the song First Amendment because, as political as I was even back then, I mean, once Trump announced he was running for office, well, no, it's not quite true. When he first announced coming down that escalator, I believe what he said. I'm like, publicity stunt. There's no way this guy comes down an escalator thinking and saying exactly what I'm thinking and saying. Not just what I'm thinking and saying, what the country was thinking and saying. Like, more than, I'd say, 60, 70%. Regardless. I saw him a second time. I didn't want to believe him. I didn't want to believe some billionaire could come in here and, he knows what to do, because how does he know how to be homeless? How does he know to go without? How does he know about addiction? Because he's never even drank alcohol. What does he know about life not that, everybody should know about these things in life, but so many people in our society do and have these problems. And how are you going to fix any of these problems if you haven't had these problems? But on that note, Donald Trump was an extremely intelligent guy. He's with a lot of common sense and common good and common decency. You don't see that in politicians a lot. You don't see that in politicians at all. Trump being a politician. Very rare. Now you actually are starting to see that in politicians, because this Patriot GOP party is its own party. Trump didn't need to go and start another party, because the Republican Party, the GOP of my father, my mom, my grandparents, dead, it's gone, and that's a good thing, because everybody equates that party to big corporations, step on a little guy. You hate blue collar, yada, 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 which is, none of that's true. Not even true then. But now, people are seeing that this GOP Patriot Party is the blue collar party, is the middle class party. Because the Democrats, the left, the progressives, the loony liberals, they're the credential class now, for the most part, or the activist class, or the completely indoctrinated class. It's one of the three. Those are the three classes of voters and politicians you have in that. So, the progressive wing is destroying the country. I mean, there's not a night I don't go to sleep when I don't know, where I haven't said to myself, I don't know if I'm going to have to bug out of here tonight, hit the woods, get my, supplies that I have, that I need, that I can get here, and the other things I have stocked up elsewhere, and gone, homesteading it, with not, no country to go back to. I really honestly don't know. Why? I mean, people will sit there and say, oh, it's hyperbole, conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. They used to say this stuff to me constantly out loud before it happened, because it hadn't happened, and everybody said it wouldn't. People told me 30 years ago, when I told people, the kids are being indoctrinated, they hate themselves. How do you figure? Oh, I don't know. They don't want to identify as white. They say they're gangbangers from the hood. They'd rather go out and shoot people than actually work and put merit into anything they do. And they equate that to being black. That's horrible. That's horrible for everybody all the way around. Because, first off, you want to learn about another culture that is not your own. You want to learn about African culture. Learn about its tribalism. Learn about its roots. Learn about its history. Don't go and learn about how a political party, because you're not going to learn this because they won't tell you this, has tried to destroy a race. I honestly believe the Democrats over and over are trying to have genocide against African American between abortion rights. Listen, I'm not going to ever want to say I'm not going to say that I would overturn Roe v. Wade, but I will say there should be limits, and my limits are, very limited. So, and as far as infanticide, are you kidding me? I mean, we are now talking about genocide, not infanticide. It's genocide. It's a fantasy that they can commit this genocide and get away with it. That's why they call it infanticide, in my opinion. Anyway, I thought that's the reason. But that's what you got now. People that will say, "Hey, listen, 33 weeks, 34 weeks, we can have an abortion." It was going to be dangerous for everybody around, I just, my thing was 5, 6 weeks. 5, I think, is a low. 6, I think 6 weeks is the heartbeat, right? I have friends and family that think it should be more like 12 to 16. I understand what they're saying because people don't know, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? You should know your body. It shouldn't be a matter if you don't know your body. Because here's the thing. Everybody's saying, for many, many years, it's my body, my choice. All right. You should know your body. That, you're not 5 months pregnant and just finding out. And I have known people that actually happened to. But now, of course, with the vax mandates and the mask, it's no longer your body. This is why we need to get Baker out of office. I'd say by all means necessary, but I don't believe in political violence. Never did, never have. I've been an anarchist to the point of I can't stand either side. Back in the 90s, I was like, I don't listen to either one of you. You guys lied to me about the whole, MTV Rock the Vote, making me think Democrats are the party for smaller government, and they were the blue collar party. Yeah, right. Oh, I see how that turned out. But changing the culture right now is extremely, extremely, extremely important. I mean, they got these arguments all the time about how these laws are discriminative towards blacks and this and that and that. And it's, well, was it 80-something% of the gun crimes are committed by African American males. Why is that? Because the African American males have been taken out of the home. The welfare state, the Democrat plantation, has just run amok and just pay these women to do whatever they want. These poor kids, they don't have a father male role model. And then the ones they do get, some of them are mothers' boyfriends that are just pieces of dirt. Others are just family members that are a lot older or not at all. Just who they find out on the street. What are they going to find out on the street? Oh, well, daddy ain't teaching you how to fight. You might want to join a gang so you get your butt kicked. I can understand that to a degree. I would never join a gang. But when I was a kid, man, I got picked on constantly. I grew up in the Newland Street Projects in Malden in the 70s and 80s. And it was rough. I don't care what anybody says, man. People kicked your ass every day. If we weren't beating somebody else up, somebody was beating you up. But I do want to actually touch on that again after. But the second huge flaw And what we have going on here on December 2nd is, actually, it's kind of a double whammy flaw. All right, so like I said, and no entertainment, so people get to hear these 4 speakers. They look at this, it's nice, but that's $100. I got $100. I'm gonna eat dinner for $100. I'm like, wow, I want to hear Kim Clay Kick. Is that how you say it? Clay Kick? I thought it was Classic. Oh, my bad. But Kate Williams, I've heard of, kind of. Well, no, I know who she is. Actually, I do know who she is. Who was it? Caroline Levitt. I don't really know much about her, and I don't really know anything about. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. I'm horrible with last names. I always have been. Granted, I guarantee you all 4 of these speakers are going to be phenomenal. And I know Kimberly will be. And I'm dying to see her, speech. Because, not just do I want to hear her speech, I'd love to speak with her because she gets with the GOP is broken, which is in the messaging. Because, several months ago, I had a committee member, I'm not going to say what committee, I was asking about, campaigning in Worcester, and I had some ideas. Well, it's like, we don't campaign in Worcester. I go, well, we don't campaign in Worcester. Well, during the midterms, we don't campaign because it's of the minority vote, and they come out because they're indoctrinated through the left, and we just will actually, our numbers will go down. That horrified me, man. I swear that horrified me. Why? It's all right. I'm not from Dorchester. I'm not from Worcester. I'm from Malden. But if I heard that about Malden, man, and with all the problems going on back then, I mean, how left out can you possibly? How much more left out could you possibly feel? I mean, you don't think Worcester feels left out of the people that some may be waking up? Because I know there's people out there that are Republicans, because I know some of them. But worst of all is that you're letting the Democrat, and it's not just the Democrats, it's like left and right, politics usually, that's gone. Status quo's been flown out the window a long time ago. A lot of people are just starting to wake up to this. But now, it's a progressive wing that is hell-bent on socialism, hell-bent on teaching your kids racism, hell-bent on saying that your kid is an oppressor because of the color of his skin. You know what the hell I get to say to that? How you just see an oppressor anywhere in this picture right here? This is my son, 2 months old. And let me tell you, this kid is going to be brought up right, and he will never oppress anybody. It sickens me to hear shit like that. But, yeah, you see that, the Trump onesie, Very good friend of mine, Kelly H. I love you for that. Thank you so much for the onesie. I got my buddy Chuck that's not in this group. I think Kelly is in this group, but my buddy Chuck got me one for the 6-month mark, a black one. Love him for that. But that's it. I mean, you start teaching these kids in school this, they're gonna hate themselves, and they have been for years. They haven't been identifying with their own race. Now, gender, same thing. We got people that are not identifying with their own gender. And not just that they're not identifying with their own gender. All right, so that's bad enough. And that is a mental disorder. And, they're trying to treat it with a physical remedy only. And the mental, we'll take care of that after. Wow. I mean, people are identifying as all kinds. There's so many letters after LGBTQ. I mean, after Q, I get lost. I'm sorry. I think everybody gets lost after that. Anybody with common sense and rationale. Unless I'm missing one, and I'm sorry if I'm offending somebody. I am. But, you either have, Y chromosome or YK chromosome. Regardless, you only have the chromosomes that make you male and female. That's it. End of story. And to think that you're anything else is a mental disorder. You know, we have an admiral right now with a mental disorder. I mean, she's in charge of, is it Naval Command? I think. I don't know, whatever. She's in charge of something, and she don't even know who the hell she is. I just hope she knows who the hell the enemy is when that happens. But it's brought to my, well, oh wait, hold on. So go back to that. So, like I said, I'd love to, yeah, Kimberly, I definitely will. I mean, should have got me for entertainment. I know a couple people will laugh at that. Other people are like, oh yeah, you really should have, man. I guarantee you that it's not like putting my name up in the marquee would have brought in another 10, 15, 20 people, but I would have brought in another 10, 12. I think 12 is grasping as far as I could possibly grasp. But I know 6, 7 right off the rip, not including me and the wife. But I don't want to push it because the CD, I self-produced it. It was just under $1,000. People love it. I mean, I got a lot of people loving the CD, and it'll sell itself. And I have faith that I don't care if I sell 1,000,000 CDs. I just want to perform and make a living doing it because I'm out of work right now because my industry is completely blackballing me for supporting Trump. I mean, they've been doing that. I had a shot over at MGM though, and I had another couple other shots. I even got a friend with an event technology. Event tech specialist staffing company, and she can't book me because of the mandates. So if I'm not being blackballed on one end, I'm being blackballed on the other end, and by my own governor too. I mean, figure that one out. So I'd love to be doing that. I could get the funding. It'd be great. I'd love to do it. I know what kind of funding of what I could do with what. And there's a lot I could do. If I had the proper funding, it'll take off. I know that. There's no question in my mind. And it's not actually as much money as you would think. But that is extremely important to me. And that will always, always be important to me. And I do think it's important to the country because it's pro-patriot, America First style of music. I got a Trump 1 song. I got a song about kids taking off masks. Another one's called Rise, about rising up against cancel culture. I got the other song about, relapsing on opiates and how many more people are actually doing that because of the unsecured Biden border. I just finished the Second Amendment song. So, I think people are going to love it. It's a little bit of a name change, but the Constitution, in God we trust. I think that is the name I'm going to settle on that song. Some people have seen it on my YouTube. I don't even for the live practice recording I do, doesn't sound all that good. Sounds really good now. And actually, all the songs that I perform sound phenomenal. I mean, it's already hard enough. The couple, and I gotta thank 2 people big time, but the couple of times I've gotten to perform them, which was at 2 fundraisers. The first time at Dale's 4th of July when he announced he was running, him and Chris Ryan, which was like completely awesome to me. It was kind of last minute. I asked. They said, "Yeah, if nobody minds." They had no idea what they were in store for. Heavy metal, how is it? Blah. And everybody was having a blast. I was having a blast. Everybody was. And at the end of the night, Chris just didn't want to do it. So I approached him. I asked him. I said, "Yeah, you still want to do it?" He goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Just turn it up. Have a blast." Everybody seemed to like it, but of course, like I'm doing it on a PA system. I kept asking the DJ. I was like, "Can you turn that up? Can you do it? Can you do it?" It was like horrible sound, no sound check. It still sounded good. The very next time, Jeffrey Paquette had me perform at his fundraiser. He hired me for that. That was awesome, and I am so grateful that that he did that for me. And yeah, nobody really showed because everybody mailed in their funds, which he did very great, and that was the whole point of it. So I'm really happy. But it would have been nice to more people, and at that time the band was breaking down, yada yada yada. Again, no sound check. All this stuff was extremely important to me because I think it's extremely important to the country in changing the culture. But I've made a decision that I want y'all's opinion. I say y'all, I'm not trying to sound country. I say y'all a lot, unfortunately, especially with going along. I honestly want your opinion on what you all think about me running against Richard Neal. Because I heard he's running unopposed. And I don't care if, like, you're 10 times worse a candidate than I'll ever be. Because I'm not no perfect candidate by any means at all. But I don't care who, nobody's going to run against him. Listen, I'll run to win. Anything I do to win, you know. And I'm not so loser about anything either. But even if I lose, it's going to get a message out. You're going to get a message to people that would have not have heard that message, especially me. Because I'm going to go to those neighborhoods that a lot don't dare to go to. I'm going to go, I mean, unless I got like straight up hippie commune that's going to come out and, I don't know, pay me or something, I'm going there. I'm going to go talk to them. I don't care how much they hate Republicans, you know. Doesn't matter to me because I'm not the typical Republican that they used to seeing. They're going to take a second and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. What does he have to say? Why is he doing this? You know, because at the end of the day, we're trying to turn this big tent party into a party that no tent is going to hold because it's just too big, you know. And what better way to do that than through culture and music, you know? Hey, the Liberals have been doing it for 65, 70 years. And look how far they've gotten with it. They've done phenomenal. They've cornered the market. They made a monopoly out of it. I think it's about time that there should be some protest music, which is like, I was like, wow, how do you call it protest music? It's patriotic music. Well, it seems like just to be patriotic now, you got to protest. So, it's a positive message, and I want to get it out there as soon as possible, you know. And I can do so much through music, you know. Especially if I can get the music out there, I can do a lot more. Believe me. I mean, I'm writing the songs, you know. I'm using Obituary. I'm using Corrosion of Conformity, Buckethead. What a guitar virtuoso. The guy's phenomenal. Metallica. Chevelle's the new one too. And these are all songs. They're not actually songs. They're all instrumentals. Never had lyrics, so they're extremely hard to write lyrics for. Trust me when I say that. But I get my message out there better if you give me a soapbox and let me do my thing. Because at the end of the day, I get the message out there. I red pill some people. Who knows? Maybe I'll win. You never know, right? But at the end of the day, somebody's going to look at me when this is all said and done. They're going to say, that dude ran. He was not a horrible candidate, as you know, but he's not your typical candidate. They thought he was a horrible candidate, but he had a feeling he'd become cannon fodder. He didn't care. He ran to show that this party is the people's party. This is the party of the people, of blue class, blue collar, working people, and just the salt of the earth type of people are now in this party. And the people who want to run propaganda all day long and spew out hate, you know, we're over there with the credential class and the Democrat Party. So, you know what? If I ever had a chance to win, this would be the time. I mean, they say 60, 70 seats, the House is going to win. I like to see it, and I hope it happens. And I hope these election laws have been tightened up, because the Democrats are going to get really, really desperate when, you know, everything out of their mouth is a lie. They know everybody knows they're lying, but they're still grasping at those straws. Things could start getting dangerous, you know. And before that happens, I want to get in there and talk to people. And I want to unite this country. I want, we need independence, regardless of, I don't care what office you want to run for in Massachusetts as a Republican. You need independence, Somebody brought that to my attention today, actually. I hate campaign manager. Absolutely right. So now, what does Charlie Baker want to go and do? Gonna run as an independent so he can win? He won't win. Don't give up. And don't give up on Dale. I met Dale, and it was on it wasn't on the 4th of July. It was before that. It was funny, too. Talk about a memory and just really being in tune to your constituents. I called him up a couple months before he ever met me. Before I went to this gig, I told him what was going on with me. My name is Jesse, and I do this thing called Mass Metal Heads for Trump. It's a music thing, and I am getting banned everywhere. I'm getting censored. YouTube's taken down. Well, I don't know at that point, but eventually they took down my station completely. I can't get it back. I mean, and I'm getting bombarded. I got 9,000 views on a song in 8 days that I got, at best I had a 300 following, and all of a sudden power shuts down. My 1350, that's what I was getting, 1350 views a day. Altogether, 25,000 views on all my songs, 20 of them to this song, different versions. And all within a month, it was doing so good. The feedback I was getting. I had a woman tell me that, she's straight up metalhead, and she told me how much she felt like that saved her life. That there was somebody out there like her that is feeling the way she was feeling. Because I'll tell you, metal, a lot of people in this party may have a very negative look at metal, but you shouldn't. You should have actually a very positive one. But unfortunately, in the early 80s, a bunch of senators' wives decided to go after Dee Snider and Twisted Sister and their fan club. And they wanted them to put that parental advisory for explicit lyrics on their merchandise, which they loved that. They were like, oh, well, how much would I pay for that? They're like, no, that's free. You have to do it. It's free? Awesome. We're going to sell millions of albums.